Hello, everybody. It's Crazy Logics 007 on YouTube, Crazy Logics in the forum, and everybody else just calls me Damon. This is the Audiopipe follow-up video number two. So it'd be a third video if you count the live stream as one, but it's follow-up video number two. Just tested all the FETs that we'd pulled out of here, which we didn't think any had any problem, but I went ahead and tested them all anyway. Got some Nichicon. This up here. Nichicon 2200 microfarad, 25 volt. Now you'll notice they are bigger than the others, same diameter and everything else. These are all bad. I got enough of these to do the other amps. Why is this not wanting to focus? I gotta look at my camera settings. I was doing other stuff with the camera and stuff. I got the transistors to replace the two PNPs and the one NPN. So I'm just going to start with that. See if I can get one NPN should go into Q20. And that should be right there, Q20. I'm not 100% reliant on my specs. Sorry, big long pause. I can do some of it, soldering and stuff. So I'm going to do that. The quick fast forward montage. We'll get into this. I'll put those transistors on, these FETs in, those caps in, and pull this inductor, and then we'll do an inspection. So when I come back, we should be ready to inspect the inductor. Not ready to fire it up because we still got the outputs in. We want to make sure this inductor is not messed up. Get it fixed, get it in there, and then we'll see if it works. So cue the montage. I'm going to mute the microphone. Well, maybe not, because, I might stop, do something like this in the video to let me know when editing that I'm going to say something smart. No, won't be smart. Silly, funny, maybe. Something, I don't know. We'll see. So cue a little music and yeah.
I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body full of tats. Baby's bad, oh baby's hella bad. After her there ain't no coming back. Wanna take a run at that? I think she's feeling me. Turn it up a few degrees. My imagination of her body gets the best of me. Oh gosh, she's such a tease. Bitten lips, bruised knees. I'm addicted to her, need her touching me. Cause she got a bad little waist, and we tearing down this place. Off the liquor that we chase. Casamigos to the face, baby, I don't need no space. Coming closer for a taste, and I'll show you how I make everything just fade away. Cause she's like sex, drugs, cocaine, body so insane. Jealous of the clothing that she wears up on that tight frame. All game, no shame, baby came here to play. I feel like an addict cause she's sex, drugs, cocaine. Got a fine little body and her mind's kinda naughty. They say that once you taste it, you cannot replace it. She could get you high, all the dopamine inside triggers fast once she's naked. Her body's a creation. They say the devil made her for his entertainment, but even he couldn't learn how to contain it. Her high heels make a damn good statement. There is no replacement, a body by Satan. She got a bad little waist, and we tearing down this place. Off the liquor that we chase. Casamigos to the face, baby, I don't need no space. Coming closer for a taste, and I'll show you how I make everything just fade away, cause she's like sex, drugs, cocaine, body so insane, jealous of the clothing that she wears up on a tight frame, all game, no shame, baby came here to play, I feel like an addict cause she's sex, drugs, cocaine.
So what I'm doing here is I'm just getting solder on the center leg to hold the fets in. Just a tiny drop. Just enough to make sure that it's really good in place. This one I don't like. Okay, that's good. So when I flip it over, they don't fall out, and then I can solder them real good. It doesn't take much. Let's take some. It doesn't take much. All right. So when you're soldering in fets, I'm using a big tip. I got a pretty good high heat. I get it in here. I got I keep my tip clean over here in my cleaner. Add a little solder to it when I get it on there, and that's just to help get heat flowing. But I feed into the fet leg. That way you know that the leg itself and the pad are at the same temperature, and the solder bonds both those pieces. Uh, and then you can come in from the side, but you really want to make sure you're on the opposite side of whatever you're soldering on the component leg to make sure it gets up to temperature so it has a good bond. That's proper soldering. Finally, Got that thing where I could flip unsoldered enough where I could get flipped up. And we are out. So you can see it did have glue, and it didn't do a very good job. We only have one tiny leg sticking over and it was bent out. All the others are broke. And then this one is broke, and it looks like it took part of the via with it. Let's see if we can. Yep. Via is stuck to my soldering iron. And that excess solder off there. Right here at the bottom of the screen. I don't know if I could get my dexterity to do this here. There we go. Now we can see what was left of the wire edge there. That's broke off. So here will be an interesting thing. So we got some, what's left of the old via on the top right there, the top part of the ring. Solder balls, solder waste to get that out of there. So on inductors, you can peel it back a little bit and try to you know, sometimes like if this one had broke up here, you could go ahead and unwrap it back and make a new, and you'd lose a tiny amount of inductance. This bottom one was working up to there, and it's kind of there. But what I think I'm going to do is bring this one up, and I'm going to pull this one through, and I'm going to snip them a little bit and clean them all up, and just this end, clean them all up, and add some serious wire to it, solder it on, put shrink wrap protectant all the way back down in here and on this one to protect it around the curve, and then hope that that's good. We're going to clean this up and clean that up. Give me a second. I'm going to, well, here's my, we'll see if this measures the inductance of this worth a darn. We're about to find out. I don't have an inductance meter. One thing on my list of things to finally get. You have spares sitting in your garage, you know, sell me one cheap or send me one. I don't know, but I'm slowly getting all the equipment I want. So you're going to get to watch it here live with me. There's still some fireworks going off in the background. We took dinner break and all that good stuff. The doggo was happy. So it says it's 0.08 millihenries. I don't know if that's correct. 0.6 ohms. It does know it's an inductor. The only way I would know for real is to take the one out of the one that was working and measure it and maybe see. I don't know if that's good values. That here, red resistance 0.6 ohms, 0.08 millihenry. I don't do inductor rewinding. It's just I don't have the time to completely unwrap this, figure out the gauge, order the wire, and you know this would be 3 strands. It looks like right here. Yeah, 3 strands, and then rewrap it and do all that stuff. In the future, maybe I will. Right now, I just don't have time because you have to set up a little jig to carefully hold this core while you wrap the wire around it so that you don't scratch it all up. You know, you'd want to wear a pair of gloves because you're going to be pulling to get the windings tight. These are probably machine wound. They may be hand wound in China. I don't know. In the US, they'd be machine wound. And so to get it as tight as a machine can get it, you know, I'd have to work really hard, and it just ain't worth it. So I'm going to try to attach some wire here, shrink wrap back so that we don't get any vibration, and pull this down. And then I'll pull this one out, like I said, attach a wire to it, shrink wrap it so that we got plenty to go through the circuit board. The major traces are on the bottom, so that little pulled ring on the via is just a solder ring. It's not a big deal. But then when we get this thing to set back in here, it's supposed to have, see these extra holes in here? It's supposed to have zip ties holding that sucker in at some point in time. I would think. Now, maybe not. But, you know, here's the two wire spots. And we got all these outside holes. If that was in place, man, I could put a zip tie across there and across there once I glue this down in, and we'll zip tie it in place. I'll check the others. I don't think they had a zip tie. I don't remember, but I'll look at them. If you look at the old videos, or if you're watching these all in a row, you'll probably notice, oh, that had no zip ties. We're going to add them to them all, and we're going to add some extra glue. Some E6000 is what I use. I just don't know where it's at. Oh, there it is. My tube of black. Black is the best to get. Black or clear. Clear works really good. White I've used. It looks a little goofy, but, you know, it'll work here. I've got a tube of that somewhere. The black is a slightly bit different, just so you know. It sets up slower, and it's a little more rubbery. It does set up slower. It's the best stuff to use for speaker repair. When you're putting new surrounds on, or new foam gaskets and stuff like that, that black E6000 is the best. It allows you to get the cone all centered and everything, and all that stuff before you clamp it down, and it has better, or gives you longer setup time. Great stuff. But it's also what I'm going to put. I'm going to put E6000. You know, the glue was originally on the board here and holding down these caps and stuff. I'll goob it in between these caps, and I'll goob it on these caps. Do the same on the others, because this glue they've got on here is turned to brittle. It's not terrible, but and then we'll probably add a little in here. You know, drizzle a little around here and stuff. So just to improve these, as long as nothing else was wrong besides those caps killing this thing, and we fixing this, and this thing operates after that, you know, I'll goop it all up, put new fresh stuff on it. This thing ought to be in great shape, because it'll have better clamping, better caps. These are Nichicons, and we'll get it all done. I am going to get all my crap together and come back to see about fixing this. So be right back. Okay, so you see me scrape. Uh, then you see me kind of solder it and scrape with the heat to get a little solder bondage. Add a little flux. The flux helps get underneath everything you've scraped and break that all free. So it makes it much. No, doggo. No, no. Stay in here. Good girl. She's going to run out there and there'll be a firework go off and then she's going to be unhappy. Very unhappy dog. So, where'd it go? There. Got some, this is about 17 gauge wire, roughly, you know, measured. I looked up enameled wire diameter, and then he gave me a chart, and I looked it up, and I measured it with my calipers. It's about 17 gauge, which is good for anywhere about 4 to 6 amps per strand. So a piece of 12 gauge, this is either 14 or 12. I believe it's 12. I guess I could measure the diameter. This is 14. So 14 will handle 15 amp. And so we're going to use it. Just make us up. Nice little thing. So I'm going to get back to work. Good old Harbor Freight for some cheap shrink tubing. Let that cool off for a minute. We'll wrap that back in. Then we'll trim it off appropriately. All right. So bringing that back down in. Bring this tight. We're going to give ourselves plenty to work with. Right there. Where we'll cut the shrink wrap off. And we'll do this side. Did I mention that I hate winding inductor stuff and doing that? Yeah, I hate it. Meticulous takes me forever. There's probably a better way to do it. I'm not into it right now. Yeah. Let somebody else do it. Not my forte at this time. I probably need to work on that, but oh, I just want to get this to grab on well. just to hold on, or, you know, tight like a wire nut a bit, so that when, you know, it's pressing the copper against each other. And it'd probably be easier if I was doing it with three of the same strands of the exact same stuff, instead of trying to just extend this with a little bit longer. I just want these to wrap around the dang things. Why will you not do what I want you to do? We'll try it one at a time, maybe. Maybe I should have made them longer. Maybe. I just hold them together in the right order. Where they're bent, that they hold and press against this, like so. And get a little drop of solder back here. We'll try it. Ta-da! So let's see how that's going to fit in the board. Pretty good. We got lots of copper sticking through. We can zip tie it in. I'll find some zip ties here in a minute. I'll put a bed of goo down. We'll zip tie it, then we'll solder it. But one thing we're going to try is to see what this thing came up with. On the old millihenries now, just because I'm learning. I'm not an inductor guy, remember. I don't like inductors. Well, if you would just clip on. 0.4 ohm resistance, 0.08 millihenries. So, you know, pretty close to the same. Be right back with some zip ties. Zip ties. So, go. Massage my E6 up here a little. All right. So I think go there, there. They would do that different from the factory. I don't know how much room we have. A lot of times from the factory, they got the head sitting flush. Don't know if we have that. We got supposedly that much room. Is that as much room as I'd say it is? So I do that one, and no, let's see. We got maybe here to here. We'll put a little more schmoo on in a minute, but that gets some flowing down into those caps and stuff. And we may have to redo the zip ties. They may not fit into the heat sink. So if you glue it in at the top, it'll flow down in. We're gonna let this set and let that dry. Then we'll come back and do the solder stuff. All right, let's get to soldering, and then we'll let this stuff set up all the way till tomorrow. I'd like to get this trimmed and in. Being hot metal flying too far, it flew anyway, huh? All right. With that said, she's technically ready to kind of power up and test because these were all good. I'll probably double check the output fits. This card got bent a little, one point in time. We'll let it dry and we should be good to go. I hope. Fresh fingers. We'll see. Maybe. Maybe not. Who knows? Okay, it's set up overnight. I added a little bit of goo right here to make sure the zip ties didn't slip. We are going to add some power. Let's see if this thing powers up. So watch and let this voltage stabilize here. And we've got an LED right here, red and blue. Some new caps, everything's glued in. Fix the output inductor, hopefully. Oh joy, my favorite thing. I hate working on those. Not really, not really my favorite. So let's watch the current here and everything, and then we'll also watch to see if it powers up. It's red. Hit the peak, and hey, it settled right down. We got a blue light. Looks like she's powered up, and she powered up pretty quick. which is good. Makes me really suspicious of that other one having bad caps too, because it was struggling to power up. So let's go ahead and let the power off. Let's add signal. Looking at the speaker stuff. Stick a couple speakers in there. Power it up. You can see on the scope we are getting music. There we go. I don't know if you can hear that much because I got a filter on now, but you can see we're playing music on the scope. See if I can zoom in on the scope a little more. Sorry, I hit that with my elbow. That's a beauty. She's working just fine. All right. Perfect. So what I'll do is we know, kill the power. Fix that. We need to change out caps in the other one that was working because it powers up really slow and it was struggling, and we were having a struggle with the multimeter, and so the caps explains it. So we'll put some Nichicons in there. It also has the damaged RCA. I may just have a whole jack. If so, I'll probably swap it and save this jack for a repair video later on how you can take these apart and sometimes fix them and stuff. And then it also has a broken speaker terminal. I'll take that and we'll look at that. I think I have some parts amp that's got both these parts. If so, I'm just going to swap them. No big deal. If not, I'll show you how I repair these. So we'll add that into the video, and I'll show you how to repair these. We'll add that in the video. So that will take care of 2 amps. The third amp had the exact same problem here, and it's probably going to need caps also. I'm going to do that and do the oh boy yay, fix this. I will also secure this on that second amp. But if there's anything else, we'll put that in the video right now. But I'm going to clean this up, thermal paste it, and put it back in the heat sink and give it a good hard test and make sure nothing else is wrong, and then I'll go through the others. There's no point in showing you me redoing the same caps and the same coil. I don't want to be redundant. It's going to be the same kind of work. But like I said, if anything else besides just directly replacing this on the speaker terminals, you take all the set screws out and then you can slowly wiggle this plastic off, and then I can desolder out the pieces and put a new one in, snap it in, put the plastic back on to hold it in place, all in alignment, and just solder it back in. Not very big deal. This is just solder and remove. Like I said, if we do certain repairs that you haven't seen, I'll put them in here in a second. Hey, one last big thing. These little 1500 amps do not have pull down. These amps right here do not have pull down resistors for their capacitors. So if I turn my meter on to voltage and I check, this has been off for several minutes. We're still at 60.4, negative 60.4, I mean, and then 59. So we're still at 120 volts across here on these caps. Keep your fingers out of there and discharge it correctly. I'm gonna have to show a neat little discharge trick that I'm getting ready to build up that makes it nicer and easier. Keep your fingers back. It includes chopsticks. Pretty simple. If you think about it, you'll probably get it. So, but yeah, watch out. These don't have discharge resistors on them, so they're going to hold charge. So you're going to need to be careful there. Stay safe. But yeah, probably wasn't the best idea to get I thought 3 amps, man, will have all different problems. Well, we kind of had a couple little different problems, but since they all came from the same guy, they were all exhibiting a lot of the same problems. So we'll try it. I got a few other amps that I got multiples of that maybe we can show different problems on. That would be the goal of doing these multiple of the same amp ones, just so we could show a few different things. And we did get to show a couple things, and so that's pretty much a win. Like I said, if there's more stuff coming, it'll be right after this. If not, like, comment, subscribe. That helps the little channel out. Hopefully other people can find it. I liked this start out with a live stream and then do follow-up videos. That was kind of more exciting and more seemed to motivate me more. So I may try it a couple times. Tell me down in the comments if you liked, coming to the live stream first and us kind of getting there and then getting to see some nice follow-up videos after some interaction and stuff with the solutions to any of the questions anybody else brought up or that we discovered in the live stream. So that was kind of a neat way to do it. Like I said, thanks for watching. I hope you learned something. Oh boy, yeah, I get to work on another one of these. I'm not a do-it inductor guy. So, but I'll see you in the next videos. Bye.